Today, I'm talking to my boy T5, who's been super locked in with Rod Wave, producing 3 songs on his last album. In today's video, he's going to tell us the story of how he was able to get huge connections with people like Rod Wave while living overseas in Germany. And he's also going to be breaking down one of his biggest songs, Passport Junkie, with Rod Wave. So make sure you stick around for that, and at the very end, we're going to be doing a collab cook-up from scratch. It's going to be a lot of gems, so let's get right into it. All right, we're here with the boy T5. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, bro. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So how did you actually start getting into like making beats?
Bro, it was like when I was in 12th grade, one of my close homies was making beats. His name is Jonathan. So I was like, show me how you make beats. Sounds like interesting. And then he downloaded FL on my laptop and showed me like the basic stuff. And then like 1 year later, I was like bored and I was like, yeah, I have FL on my laptop. So why not try something? And then from then on, that's when I started making beats.
How long do you think it took you to actually get good at making beats? Like from when you started actually making them?
First time I really made a good beat might be like 1.5 years ago.
Well, are you full-time with music now?
Not yet. I'm trying to, but I'm a student. I go to uni. I just make music like every night when I finish all my school stuff from like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. till 1. Sometimes 2 a.m. I make beats.
Oh, so how did you get your first major placement?
First major placement was with YTB Fat and Rilo 1 year ago. Like it all started with me moving to another city for my internship last year. At that time I was staying with my really good friends. One day we wanted to pick up some food. It was just one station with the metro, and at that time I had like $100 left for the whole month, and I was like, nah, I don't buy no ticket for just one station. So we got caught and I got like $60 fine. I don't have no money at the moment, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start a type beat channel today. I just wanted to make few sales like so I can pay the fine. And then like 1 or 2 months later, few of my beats popped. That's when Rilo texted me next day and he was like, bro, send me some beats, and he sent me his number. So 2 months later on Christmas, that's when he posted the first snippet. And then I think it was January this year, another beat popped up on my YouTube channel. Clutch Frenchie texted me and he was like, bro, YTB Fat and Rilo are recording to your beat, send me the FLP. And that's when In the Air dropped. Then 1 month later, Rod Wave texted me when I was in class and she's like, here my number, send me some beats. That's probably because he's so good with YTB Fat. I just instantly left class. I was shaking. It still feels unreal.
It's safe to say you're working with huge people now. You just did 3 songs on his last album. My favorite one out of the ones you did was definitely Passport Junkie, which is also the biggest song on the album right now. I just checked the streams before this.
Ain't no more holding her hand. It's time to expand. She wanna get on the gram and take pics in the sand.
So are you down to go in and break that one down?
Yeah, of course.
Hell yeah. What do you typically look for whenever you're gonna use a loop for someone like Rod Wave?
I just like some unique stuff, like unique loops. It can be like a unique vocal or just a unique sound. Nothing typical, but it should match the vibe of the artist.
Are there ever times like you drag in a loop that sounds really cool and you try to add drums and it's just like it just doesn't work because there's so much shit going on?
Yeah, sometimes. I feel like simplicity is key. Like artists like beats which leave them like a lot of space so they can rap on them.
People always forget that the last instrument that'll be added is the artist vocal, and that's what makes it a finished song. You don't need an extra hi-hat roll that's gonna make it like sound finished, you know what I mean?
So basically Exquising and Wonder Yo made the loop. I started with the 808s. That's like how I always do it. When I start with the 808s, I can give the beat like a certain bounce.
Yeah, so the 808 kind of drives like the rhythm for the rest of the shit.
I always like follow the bass notes, then I add like the hi-hat, claps, everything around it, and before I finish the beat I always take a look over the 808 again and see if I want to like change something or add something. Right after the 808, I did my basic 2-step hi-hat. I do nothing too crazy on them hi-hats, especially when it's like a plain beat. I went over to the clap.
Oh, that's dope. So you put like a pause right there, like there's no snare on that one part, huh?
That pause gives like extra vibe to the beat. I think it makes the beat more special. And like for the second part, came in with the open head. I used 2 different open heads. One is the Uzi open head.
Yeah, it's like a live open hat almost.
And then the second open head. So what I did was like I only started with 3 sounds. So I wanted to start like more with a chill vibe. And then on the second part, I come in with them open heads. Then for the third part, again, only 3 sounds. I put another clap on the part where it was a pause. As I said, simplicity is key. Like most of the beats I placed with rappers was always like 5 or 6 sounds and never more.
What are some of your favorite, like if you had to like delete all your drum kits and just like use 1 or 2 of your drum kits, which ones do you think are the best?
DB has great drum kits. Max Shooter has great drum kits. If you do Pain beats, TNT has an amazing drum kit. To be honest, I only use my stash kit. That's like basically sounds I've been collecting throughout the years.
I think that's something that everyone should do too, is like whenever you find a sound that you really fuck with, just put it in like your folder, so every time you cook up you have like only the sounds that you fuck with, so you don't have to go through a bunch of folders every single time you want to find a good sound.
Definitely. So the finished beat sounds like this.
Turn me up, 5.
I'm gonna get back into the interview with T5 in just a second, but real quick, if you want to learn more from big producers like T5 and other platinum producers, you've got to check out the Sonics Academy. Inside here, I do 2 group calls a week where I go in and teach you guys some super in-depth stuff that I don't really go over on YouTube. And I also bring on huge guest industry producers who've worked with Kanye, Travis Scott, Lil Baby, Drake, and so many more to review your beats, give you guys advice, and overall just help level you up as a producer. So if any of that sounds interesting, or if you just want to know some more, click the first link in the description down below to check out the Sonics Academy, and let's get right back into the video. I was gonna ask you how you actually got in touch with Rod Wave in the first place, but it sounds like he hit you up. So really, you got all 3 of these songs on the last Rod Wave album from like posting a type beat on YouTube that Rilo found and ended up using, right?
Yeah, and the crazy thing to me is all of these rappers, like YTB Fat as well, they all texted me and they gave me their numbers, so I'm just so thankful.
So what was it like whenever you first heard Rod on your beat?
I was driving back home and my manager just hit me up. Shout out to Tay, and she was like, bro, we got one with Rod Wave. I was like, no way. Amazing feeling. I can't even describe it. And one thing I can say about him, he's like such a nice guy. Every time I send him like a beat pack, and then he's like, bro, you're the hardest. I was like asking him about like certain situations in his life because I was relating to what he was saying, and he was just giving me advice that's just like how much of an authentic guy Rod Wave is.
If you had to start from 0 today to try to get your first placement again without any connections or anything that you've already got going on, what would be your game plan to like get your first major placement?
So I would definitely like start watching tutorials on how to get like the greatest sound, try to get my own sound. Then I would like try to find some good loop makers who have like 0 placements or 1 or 2 like smaller placements, try to log in with them, maybe land a placement with a small artist, and then from then on post stuff on YouTube, on your IG story, like just to show people what you're capable of, that your sound is good. And then from then on, like reach out to people. I would never ask somebody, can we work together, without giving them opportunity. So I will always try to have a opportunity in my back so I can give them like value, and then just build up, and then sooner or later you will learn something.
Speaking of reaching out to people, I'm sure especially after after the Rod Wave album dropped, you've been getting flooded with people asking you in DMs if they can send loops and shit. What's like the biggest mistake you see whenever people are like reaching out trying to work with you?
A lot of people approach the wrong way, but I'm not mad at them at all because I did the same. I just, as I said, you should never reach out to somebody without having your own opportunities. So you always got to bring some kind of value.
Even if it's not an opportunity, like yo, I'll do cover art for like your next kit for free. Like offer to help them with something to get their attention.
You just got to bring like certain kind of value.
On the flip side of that, what's the biggest mistake you see some drum makers making?
Every time you finish a beat, just send the lab back. You never know what opportunity the loop maker has. Just take advantage of that as well.
All right, so we already broke down the Rod Wave type beat, but I want to go in and make some like emotional kind of stuff and see your process from scratch. So I'm about to break down a loop real quick that T5 chose out. All right, bet. So I got this little like emotional loop right here. So real quick, let me break this down. First thing I did was I just put down this simple chord progression. It's like this like stabby Rylo Rodriguez kind of feeling. And then I threw on Decimort and some chorus. Then I added this upright bass and then a perk loop. Already, that's like pretty much the loop. And then the other main sound is this vocal right here. All right, and then the last little sound that I added is this R&B kind of lead from my upcoming new kit, Melody Mastery, that'll be dropping soon, so keep an eye out for that. And it sounds like this. Felt like it just added like some nice like ear candy. So I'm gonna text this over to T5 real quick and let's see how he does his drums completely from scratch.
So I always start with the 808. That's my go-to 808, the Wheezy Spins. So I always cut out like the end, so the 808 hits a little harder. So then always use the Pyrex hi-hat. So I always like try to start with the hi-hat and give it like certain vibe. Now I add the clap, then I go back to the hi-hat. One thing I always do is like take my go-to clap and just double it. So then what I do always like for these Rylo Rodriguez or emotional type beats, I press Option and R so I can pan the hi-hat and then...
Oh damn, so you pan it and the velocity, huh?
Yeah. Now I add the open it. Some perks. I might do another hi-hat pattern so I can do like a second part. So what I do now is fill each four steps for the one hi-hat and do the same for the other hi-hat. Then I just take this one, move it to the side, I turn the velocity down.
And it's two different hi-hats?
Yeah. And now I do the same only for the low velocity one. I pan it and play a little bit with the knob.
Damn, yeah, that's fire. Boom, and just like that, Billboard.
Yeah, just like that.
If you want to learn how I got 2 beats on 21 Savage's last album, click this video right here.